Hey there, Pisces. Welcome to your reading for May 2024. We're just going to jump right in here, as always, Pisces, and see what is going on for you at this time. I knew it was going to be a good month. You have this luck card. It says, anything you do now will be very prosperous for you. Pisces, I'm telling you right now, it's like, I don't care that it's Mercury retrograde. If there's something that you're working on, like a project, a business, just it could be like a side hustle as well. I even am getting here that if you have like a random opportunity to make like a little bit of extra money, I think that it would be very, very worth it for you to kind of like do whatever that is. It could be like a little side job, or, maybe, your boss wants to pay you to stay late or something like that. I see like a lot of extra money showing up for you because of that. So, I would definitely, do that. And look at these cards. This is kind of interesting to me. You go magician to strength like this, but it's like a hand open, hand closed. I don't know, and here's the other crazy thing. This is nuts. In this row here, you have this card, and it's going to be kind of hard to see on this camera, but I'll show it to you again. But there's a hand in the middle there. So, I kind of feel like some of you could be working with something that either has to do with working with your hands literally, or it could also be that you're doing something more creative, or you're kind of like stepping into your, creative energies, or whatever the case may be. You also, in your first row here, you have that luck card. It says, if you believe that you are lucky, you'll create an abundance mindset. So I would definitely do whatever you can to believe that you are lucky and that you can increase your luck. I feel like you're very creative at this time. Again, you have that magician. The magician says you have mastery over all the suits in the tarot. It kind of says you are very powerful at creating things right now. So, whatever it is, I would get started. This is the Lovers, but, the Lovers doesn't have to be love. It can be a new path that is being presented to you. It can be a new opportunity, or just, you could be leveling something up. I kind of get more of that feeling anyway, especially in work or business. I just feel like you're feeling more fulfilled. You end with the Nine of Cups. I also think that in this deck, I'm sorry, I can't remember the name of this deck. I thought I had the box here, and I don't. Actually, I might have it. So this is the Raven's Prophecy. I do have it deck, but I think it's interesting that everything here, look at this. It's like everything is really dark except for the Nine of Cups over here. And with the High Priestess, which is your card here, it's almost like there's a magnifying glass and there's something better on the other side. It kind of it looks almost identical, the other side, to the Nine of Cups in this deck, right? And so it's almost like, I see you here, Pisces, kind of like peeking through the darkness. It's almost like your next card is this card of despair. So maybe some of you have been feeling left out in the cold. You have the Five of Pentacles. Could be in love because you have the Lovers here, but it could be, could be anything basically. And, it's like you're peeking out this month of May. I feel like you're kind of, peeking out of darkness, and maybe you've been in despair, or maybe you've been sad, or, whatever the case may be, it doesn't matter. But I feel like your intuition is guiding you at this time. You have the King of Swords here, and right next to it, you have the Emperor. Some of you, could be dealing with a person here. Could be an Aries that's coming in for you if you want love. But really, I kind of don't think this reading is really talking about love. We'll see what happens when I clarify. But, I kind of feel like this is more talking about your own inner wisdom, the things that you have learned over, who knows how long, probably years here, Pisces. This is just like a lot of knowledge and wisdom. And then you even go up to the Hierophant here, and the Hierophant is really telling me that, I feel like you are the teacher, those are the words that are popping into my head here, Pisces, is that you are the teacher. I don't know. Let's see where this goes. I'm using this Lenormand deck, by the way, and from whatever this, it's her name is Maruk or something like. I don't know how you pronounce it, but I always forget to paste the link. But she's on Etsy. I'm not sponsored by her or anything, but I just like her decks. So there you go. But you have this photograph card. This is not a Lenormand card, and this card here says the past memories, the past returning, past influences, familiar, nostalgia, Mercury retrograde. I keep telling you I'd be careful of the past if they are returning. I'm not a big, it's like one of those things. If you take someone back during a retrograde, it's like it might not work out after the retrograde, but it could clear up karma. Could also be, retrogrades do bring people back from the past so you can get answers. So, that could be true for some of you here. Again, I'm not suggesting that you go back to the past. With the High Priestess, you have the Garden. So there could be, like, I feel like you need to get out more. This is a card of, like, parties, celebrations, socializing, all those other things. I do get this energy from the month of May that I just feel, and we're not even, again, I'm going to do mid-monthly readings for the month of May. I just have a feeling that, like, once we get to the middle of the month, you're going to feel like you want to work, like, a lot. I feel this kind of it's almost like you feel much more motivated to me, or you feel much more... much more driven, really. And this is not a bad thing, obviously. This is a good thing. But at the same time, I feel that, I think that very dark energy, it kind of says to me that a lot of good ideas could come through socializing, meeting with people, like all those other things. So, don't be afraid to socialize. With the King of Swords, you have the dog. The dog is like a friend. The dog can represent someone very supportive, someone who's very loyal. So again, if you're attracting love, it kind of looks to me like you are going this way for whatever reason. Could be a fire sign. You've been getting fire. You've also been all up in, I don't want to call you out here, Pisces, but you have been all up in Taurus's business. So it's like you always show up like 19 times in Taurus's reading. So it definitely could be a Taurus or an earth sign that's coming in for you. It could also be a fire sign has been showing up for you quite a bit as well. I would say that's someone very loyal. It's interesting to me that, like, again, you have that open hand, closed hand. Here, it's really standing out to me. They're the same hand as well. It's like they have these tattoos or whatever, and they have the same tattoo or whatever that's supposed to be in this deck on their hand. And I feel like I don't think that you're being less open in relationships. I just think that maybe you're more focused on, I feel like you're not over giving, and maybe that's gotten you in trouble in the past, Pisces. You have, in the area of what you need to know right now, you have this despair card. It says adversity, excessive stress. You need to get that stress out through socializing and all that other stuff. Sadness, suffering, sleepless nights, failure, tortured with worry and fear. For some of you, this could be a past person. That could be why they're coming back here. Even, Five of Pentacles, they feel left out in the cold here. There could have been some lessons learned. And, again, maybe like forgiveness or letting go of the situation could help both people move on if you happen to be in this situation. I don't really feel like this is you, though. And if it is, I feel like you need to pull yourself out of it. This reading is like saying you have the power to, the whole world is in your hands. In this deck here, I'm going to show you this in a minute. But this hand has a world in it. And it's almost like, hand, you're creating worlds. I feel like I say this to you all the time, Pisces. So, there you go. You have this Five of Pentacles here. Again, I feel like you need to realize that there are a lot of opportunities for you to increase your finances as well. And if you don't know what to do, I would learn with that Hierophant card. But again, I do get something here that if you're like starting something new in the month of May, or if you're thinking about like, launching a product in your business or whatever, I see a lot of success for you there, Pisces, especially if you've been thinking about doing something new. You have the Magician. The Magician is like attracting things into your life very quickly. So I do feel like you are attracting things very quickly, but it's almost like you're being less open. But I don't mean that in a bad way. I actually think it's a good thing. It's like I think that Pisces sometimes, and sorry, I have to fix this before something happens. But, I think sometimes Pisces thinks that, I think we kind of like give to all situations, work, business, and otherwise. And we think that maybe people should just get it. Like if we do a lot of work in business, for example, I think maybe our Pisces brain is like, oh, if I do all this extra work, then I'm going to get recognized, which usually is true, but it doesn't always work like that. And I don't think you're like holding back. I feel you're just being more like specific and you're just being more careful with your energy. I really get that here. I also feel like you're kind of like standing up for yourself with that Strength card, and you're like saying, no, I'm not going to open up to things that don't open up to me. I feel like you're done being a fixer, not just in love, again, but like in all situations. I feel like you're done kind of like, doing the things that, where maybe you think you're helping, but maybe you're really not helping, right? So, I definitely get that energy there. You have the Emperor. I mean, really, I feel like this is you, Pisces. I feel like you are kind of like bossing up. I feel like you're getting ready to take the lead. It makes sense based off your astrology. And even when we go this way, we go Emperor to the Hierophant, you could almost look at these two as the same. It's like the Hierophant is just the more spiritual, version of the Emperor, right? And then you go to the Four of Wands. So, this could be a person that you're marrying here, and they could be very balanced. It could be a Taurus or an Aries, of course. Could be any sign, general reading, but I kind of feel like they have like a good connection between like the spiritual world and the real world. They're probably like balanced in both, is what I would say. They're not like all one or the other. So, I kind of feel like this could be really good for you, and it could lead to marriage. And again, I also feel that this is you like setting yourself free. The Four of Wands is a card of freedom, and so I feel like you could be doing that. Let's clarify. With the Five of Pentacles there, you have this Star card. I feel like this, a Star card in this deck is a card of like hope, faith, renewal, just like the Star card in the tarot can also represent fame and fortune. You also have this Snake card wanting to pop out with it as well. And the snake can, of course, represent a snake. So, it can represent like an enemy, someone who is hiding things. I would definitely be careful of a past person. I'm pretty sure like all your readings have had someone who's like either jealous or maybe they're secretly jealous of you. Or again, they have like a lot of secrets and things like that. That person could be in despair right now. I feel like they're putting on a brave face. I feel like if you're dealing with a person, I'm getting Capricorn popping into my head right now as well. Take it how it resonates. But, I feel like they put on a brave face, but they're actually not doing great. With the Magician, you have the Rider. The Rider can represent like a knight in shining armor. So, if you want love, I would definitely say there could be this new person kind of riding into your life. Again, it makes sense based off your astrology that you would be finding love like middle of May or, after during the summer. I'm also getting something here about like important messages, but like you could be having very deep dreams or daydreams, and I feel that they're trying to guide you towards something that you're creating. Something, it's almost like you've earned this with that Strength card. The Strength card, normally the lady has her hands on the lion's mouth, and it's like she has earned her right to do that by working on her own inner strength. And I feel like you're getting messages about something that you've earned. I don't know, we're gonna have to get more detail on that. With the Emperor, you have the Book card. The Book is a card of hidden or secret information. Kind of reminds me of the Ten of Pentacles, actually, in the tarot. And it is the Ten of Diamonds in the Lenormand, by the way. But it's a card of like learning, and I'm a big fan of learning. I always say it to you, Pisces, because, if I were a Pisces, and I am, I would be doing whatever I could to learn as much as I possibly could right now about whatever it is you're interested in. Could be business, it could be a hobby that you're interested in, it could be anything, but the universe is really trying to get Pisces to like do things that are heart-based. So, if you have a desire to do something, then and you learn about it, you're going to learn how to, maybe turn it into a business, or it doesn't even have to be. If there could be something you enjoy in life, and by learning about it, you could just have more of it in your life. Next, you have this card that says Mundane on it. Again, this is from the Threads of Fate Empyrean Oracle. Full disclosure, I have a business relationship with Threads of Fate, but this deck is awesome. They're launching 3 new decks. There's a link down below that will take you to the Kickstarter for 3 new decks that are also kind of like animated. I'm going to have another video in a couple days kind of showing off those 3 decks as well. But this card says Mundane on it, and, it's like things, I kind of feel like maybe things... I feel this sense of pressure is what I would say to you here, Pisces. It's more like even that despair card, right? I don't necessarily think you're in despair. Some of you could be sad about a loss, but it feels more like pressure to me. Like maybe you're saying like, oh, I should be at this certain level in my life and I'm not there yet. And I feel it right now. It's like today is the 21st, right? Mercury retrograde, first day of the retrograde and the eclipse. So like I feel this for you today, literally. I'm putting this out tomorrow, 22nd, so maybe you're feeling this pressure, like, I should be much farther ahead than I am, and it could be in any area of your life. I kind of feel like this part of the reading, this is the area of the unexpected, by the way. I feel like this right here is saying, yes, you should be much farther ahead, but it's okay because, you've done the work. You've kind of learned what you should give and what you shouldn't give in a situation. It's almost like I feel on the Strength card that you're not being nice anymore. And that I do not mean that you're being mean. What I mean is I feel like you're not just doing things. It's almost like you're not just giving your energy to situations just because anymore. It's like, and I'm not saying you're also, I think we can overcorrect in these situations as well, where it's like, we can be like, no, people have to show me respect first, but it's like, that's not how respect works. I hear people say that all the time. I'm like, no, you have to be respectful first. And, what I would say here is I'm not saying you're being like that. I'm just saying, I almost feel like you're kind of just more slowly opening up to situations, but not just love, pretty much everything, business, work, and otherwise. And it's like you're maintaining your strength. I'm not even getting traditional like Strength card meanings popping into my head off this card. I feel like you're just kind of really taking your power back here, Pisces. I really feel that the Hierophant is saying you've learned a lot of lessons. I kind of feel there's not really much unexpected here, by the way, just so you know. I feel like this is more saying that you're kind of like getting a reward, or you're getting rewards for having learned your lessons with the Hierophant and kind of leveling up. If there is love coming in, it could be a little bit unexpected for you. You know, you might just not be looking for it, so it shows up, but I don't think it's like totally unexpected. And you do have the Four of Pentacles. I do actually feel that there could be a little bit of unexpected money opportunities for you. Again, you have that amazing luck card at the beginning of the reading there, and I kind of feel like this, but it feels more like something like an extra opportunity. Like I said at the beginning of the reading, like your boss is like, hey, stay extra hours, I'll pay you more money. Or it could be in your business. Maybe you do something like extra this month for your business. And again, if you have those thoughts, if you have those ideas like, oh, I want to start doing X, Y, and Z for my business, I would do it, because it looks like, you know, it might not be like a mind-blowing amount of money, but Four of Pentacles is stability, and it is also like helpful as well. So there could be a lot of benefits to, you know, kind of like doing something extra for your business. I also feel like, again, you could be, that hand, it's kind of hard to see with this lighting, but that hand has like a world in it in that first card. It's like you're creating worlds right now, Pisces. With the Strength card, you have the Fish. The Fish is about finances, wealth, success. It can also, it's the King of Diamonds as well. In the Lenormand, personally, I consider the Fish to represent a soulmate. And look at this right here. Dog, someone very loyal. Rider, Knight in Shining Armor. Fish, definitely could be a soulmate coming in for you. And it doesn't have to be another Pisces, by the way. Again, if anything, it would be an Earth sign that would be coming in for you. But I feel like, you know, this is an amazing card for like money, business, securing wealth. So, you know, I really feel there's a lot of success. And it could be you. With the Hierophant, you have the Ship. Some of you are definitely going to be traveling here at this time, Pisces. So, you know, that you have the Rider, you have the Ship. These are cards of travel and moving and, you know, moving around. And you don't have to move. You could just be traveling. Could be like short-term, long-term travel. Could just be a vacation or something like that. The other thing is that the Ship can also represent like having a business that deals with like foreign locations. So, you know, if you do anything like involving like other languages, you know, shipping items or anything like that, there could be a lot of success for you. This is also considered like a very good card for money. So, really good card. With the Four of Pentacles, you have the Ring. The Ring is the Ace of Clubs in the Lenormand, and I love the Ring. It's actually my favorite card. Not only, it's like the Ace of Wands, which is my favorite card in the Tarot. This is my favorite card in the Lenormand. This is a little bit different. It can represent marriage or commitment, like a marriage, like an engagement ring. To me, the Ring also represents great abundance, and it can represent things coming full circle. And I get that feeling for you, Pisces, where it's almost like everything is coming together for you. Makes sense. There seems to be a little bit of this energy going on in the astrology. This can also represent like some sort of agreement coming in for you. And we go from the Lovers, the Magician, down to the Ring and the Four of Pentacles. I feel like you want security if you're attracting love into your life. So I feel like you could be attracting a person that's like much more secure, clearly, someone who's loyal. Definitely a very good connection if you want new love here. And again, that's also an amazing, and by the way, that card is Taurus. So, you know, the funny thing is that you have everything here. You basically have every sign that I mentioned in the Lenormand. You have Aries here. You have Pisces twice. The Fish and the Book are both Pisces in the Lenormand. The Ship is Aries in Lenormand as well. So, you know, definitely could be one of those signs that's coming in for you. At the end here, we're going to look at messages from your future self. You have this Patience card. I feel like you have been very patient, and it's like you have been waiting for things to fall into place. And now things seem to be kind of like more falling into place for you, I guess, is what I'm trying to say. You have the Four of Wands, the Knight of Swords, and the Nine of Cups. The Four of Wands, of course, could be marriage, which we do see a lot of marriage here if you want that. But this could also be a card of freedom. You know, to me, it can represent completing one thing and moving on to the next. It's a portal card, you know, and you have the World. I mean, you have that mundane card with the hand that has a world in it. And I really feel like that I've said this to you a lot, that you could be going from one world to another, but it's almost like that in-between time is where you're feeling the pressure. You know, it's like, you know, you could have something that's very secure, Four of Pentacles, in your life right now. And it's like, you know that you need to evolve is the feeling I get here. And I mostly get this in work or business. So it's like, maybe you know it's time for a change in work or business, or maybe you know it's that you have to. You know, if your results have been the same for a long period of time, I know that you have to mix things up. And so, but there are maybe some fears about doing that. But it's like once you do it, I feel like you're going to be very successful. You have the Knight of Swords here. No rushing at this time. No get-rich-quick schemes either. Every once in a while, I feel like the Knight of Swords can represent kind of getting too excited about an opportunity and then being disappointed. I always say it reminds me of a get-rich-quick scheme. So, I would be careful of like anyone coming into your life being like, oh, this is going to make you, $10 billion overnight. Again, Uranus and Taurus. Uranus and Taurus is slow and steady. So I always say that, with Uranus and Taurus, we kind of need to take our time. We can't rush into financial opportunities. We need to do our research and make sure that they're good for us, like in work and business and pretty much everything. Because if we're doing things just to make money, then it's not going to work. If we're doing something because it matches up with our values, then we are going to be very successful. And if again, you have that star card. The star is like about having a North Star. I keep telling people that everything I do, like with this channel, my other channels, is to help people make a dent in the universe. So it's like I have a, whatever you want to call it, a mantra, a motto, right, that I like to follow. And it's funny because it's like when I do things that aren't in alignment with that, they don't do very well. When I do things that are in alignment with that, I do much better. So again, I would make sure that you have like something in your head that that you kind of like, and it doesn't have to be anything, outrageous or crazy or anything like that. It could just be, I want to be a positive influence on my family. It could be something very small. But whatever it is, I would come up with it because it will naturally make you more money at this time. You have the Nine of Cups. I feel like there's a lot of fulfillment coming in for you. I have a feeling this is good, but I have a very strong feeling that your mid-monthly May reading, which I will be doing in a few weeks, is going to be really good. So, there's clearly a, really good abundant time for you. With the Four of Wands, you have this Tower card. It's not really like the Tower in the tarot. It can represent like a little bit of a restriction. It can represent, feeling isolated as well. And I do feel some of you maybe feel isolated at this time. But again, this is a card of something that stands out. The whole point of the Tower in the Lenormand is that normally in some Lenormand decks, the Tower is normally like above the clouds. There's normally like, just imagine, right? There's like clouds and then there's a tower above it. So again, it's kind of like another card that's kind of saying to me that you need a North Star, or you need something that you aim at if you don't already have one. With the Knight of Swords, you have the Cross. This is a card of burdens. Again, if someone's rushing back into your life, I feel like this person has a lot of problems. Like, I would be careful of that. And again, no more projects, Pisces. I'm telling you right now, again, if you have a habit, which you're a Pisces, so you probably do, if you have a habit of attracting people into your life that have a lot of problems or issues, I would be careful of being a savior. I feel like it's time for you to be saved. And again, I'm not saying that someone's coming in to save you. That's not what I'm suggesting. But I feel like it's time for you to receive energy from another person and like not be the overgiver for once, right? And I feel like this is saying, be careful of people who are coming in from the past or the future that are not like giving and that just create more problems than they're worth, right? With the Nine of Cups, you have the Clouds. This is a card of doubts. It's hilarious that there are clouds on this Nine of Cups. And then you have this card here, the Clouds, which is like doubts and confusion and being, not being clear on what you need to do. You are very clear. I feel like you're just overthinking something. So again, especially in work or business, I feel like you need to stop the overthinking. I feel like your ideas are really, really good. I feel like no matter what, like and I would be careful of excuses as well. And I'm not calling you out here, but it's like, if you're saying to yourself, oh, I'll start this after the retrograde, I would be like, no, start it now, right? Whatever you're thinking about starting. So, you know what I mean? It's like, will there be communication issues and other problems? Probably, absolutely. But again, it's like problems are not a death sentence. We can fix these mistakes. So, I feel like this is saying like, get moving. I'm going to pull 5 main themes now. You have this Priest card. With Neptune and Pisces, I have a feeling you're always going to get this card when I use this deck because, again, this is a challenge to traditional belief. Again, Neptune and Pisces is about breaking ancestral beliefs, like things that you believe just because. So you could be breaking a lot of patterns that from your family, which is great. I mean, again, this Neptune and Pisces is amazing for Pisces in some ways. I think it's actually confusing for Pisces, but it can also be amazing because you could, like, it gives you the opportunity to, like, be the first person in your family to go to college or to be the first person in your family to become a millionaire or, whatever story, whatever family curse that you need to break. Now is the time. You have this Foe card. I would be careful. I would be careful of any little, person coming back into your life who's like, kind of playing the victim or anything like that. You see how she kind of looks like she's all like, boohooing and stuff here. I would be careful of that. This person could actually secretly be an enemy. You have this frivolity card. It is a card of being frivolous, being, overspending and things like that as well. So, I wouldn't overspend. I've pretty much been saying this all year that, even if you have $1 billion in the bank, I wouldn't be like out there spending it like crazy. I would avoid spending. You have this wedding card. Clearly, there's a person that you could be marrying coming in for you here. So, I definitely feel there's like love. And again, I feel like that frivolity card, by the way, is like saying there's a lot of money coming in. So just don't waste it when it comes in, right? And finally, you have this falseness card. Again, I would be careful if there's a past person coming back. This has come up for you for like weeks, and it is Mercury retrograde. So, at the beginning of this month, the first 2 weeks, basically. And I mean, we're in the shadow for like the whole month practically. So you might as well say the whole month of May. And so I would be careful. I feel like this person lies and, all this other stuff. Let's pull another card, see if there's anything else. You have this conversation card. Again, I would be careful of a person who wastes your time as well. It's almost like this person just wants to talk and talk and talk, and it never goes anywhere. So, I would be very careful of this energy right here. I do feel like you're a leader, though. You see how she's like talking to that group of people. Again, if you want to be a leader or start a group, if you want to lead a group or something like that, now would be the time. But Pisces, I have a really good feeling about this month in general. Yeah, there's like a little bit of, people causing problems. But, other than that, I feel like it's an amazing time for you to like commit to a new direction to create that new world that you want. So thank you for being here, and definitely enjoy your month.